Hi, I'm Tom McMasters, and I'm a candidate for Ohio's 10th Congressional District. Let me use my military training and bring the bottom line up front. I'm a fiscal conservative that believes we need to reduce the deficit in order to lay the foundation for prosperity for us and our children. Speaking of children, I'm the proud father of 5. And my wife Marilyn and I have been married for almost 15 years. I retired from the Air Force in October of 2009. While in the Air Force, I supported Operation Desert Storm, Somalia, and Sarajevo Relief. I taught mathematics and statics at the Air Force Academy Prep School. I was an X-45 pilot at Edwards Air Force Base. My last assignment was here at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, where I was a research scientist. I've been blogging since 1998, and if you look back at my websites, you can see I've had many cutting-edge ideas that have later become common sense. For instance, 4 months before General Petraeus took command in Iraq, I wrote an article that was essentially the same premise as our strategy toward the Iraqi awakening. President Obama has a new plan to address the housing refinancing, where people that have been making their payments can enjoy the benefits of the low interest rates. In 2009, I started writing on the same subject. And if Congress would have adopted my 1999 campaign finance reform, Citizens United would not be a factor in our elections today. Beyond blogging, though, I do have a strong educational background. I have a master's degree in education and an Ohio teaching certificate. My undergraduate degree is in physics. By the way, do you know how you can tell an extroverted physicist? Well, an extroverted physicist looks at your shoes when he's talking to you. And he tells bad jokes too. But that leads to one of my other points. We need to change the idea of what makes a good representative. Recently, we had a president whose best characteristic was that everybody thought he'd be fun to go and have a beer with. Look where that got us. My strengths are the willingness to do a lot of technical work, the ability to understand details, and the sensibility to promote credible ideas. Sure, I have passion. I love my wife, I love my kids. And patriotism was a strong factor of why I chose to join the military, and why I'm running for Congress. And you can ask the opposing parents whether I'm passionate at my daughter's soccer games. Passion is great for football games. But when it comes to designing a healthcare system, when it comes to promoting education, when we're preparing for natural disasters, and when we decide to take military action, these decisions need more than passion. Yes, your representative has to understand people. But keep in mind, the most passionate person in the world is a drowning man. And the most dangerous person in the world is a drowning man. So if you come upon somebody that needs saving, and you decide you're going to get involved, you need to understand the situation, and you may need to make a calculated decision on when and how you're going to intervene. Your representative in Congress also has to be able and willing to make calculated decisions. Your representative has to manage resources and logistics. Your representative has to be able to understand the numbers behind monetary decisions. Recently, my neighbor and I decided we were going to attend an administration committee meeting at Huber Heights. Now keep in mind, I like all the Huber Heights council members. I think they're dedicated to their jobs, and they are friendly people. But during this particular meeting, they had a discussion about 2 items related to the Aquatic Center. In one of the discussions, they talked about the budget for the amphitheater. Now, the amphitheater 3 months ago was supposed to cost $500,000. During this meeting, they approved a budget of $1.4 million. The other aquatic center discussion that they had was on the sign that was going to go out in front of the building. They had to decide, was it going to read Huber Heights Aquatic and Recreation Center, or was it going to read the Heights Aquatic and Recreation Center. As we were driving home, my neighbor remarked to me, he said, "Wasn't it peculiar that the budget discussion only took about 3 minutes, but the sign discussion took 35 to 40 minutes?" And this is one of the reasons why I think we need to change the idea of what makes a good representative in government. Sure, everybody, even those of us that have trouble making sentences, can give our opinion on how a sign should look. This brings me back to where I started. I'm a fiscal conservative that thinks we need to address the deficit and the national debt in order to lay the foundation of prosperity for us and our children. Thank you. I look forward to your vote on March 6th and to be your Democratic nominee for Congress in November.